Do you want to run your very first marathon but feel overwhelmed, unsure where to start or how to actually make it to the finish line? Or maybe you've already run a marathon but rushed through the preparation and want to do it smarter this time? This is the video for you. Hey fellow runners, welcome back to another video of the Running Bible Intermediate Edition, a series for all the confident runners who mastered the basics and are now hungry for more. If you don't know me, I'm Elisa, I've been running for over 15 years now and I'm also a certified running coach, and in today's video I want to help you with all the possible knowledge coming from experience and also a lot of mistakes done in first person to crush your marathon. So no matter if it's your first one or if you've been already running for a while and want to do it better and smarter, I'm gonna guide you through all the necessary steps to absolutely make it a blast. I'm gonna divide the video into two parts, the preparation and race day itself. So let's start with the marathon preparation. The first step to prepare for a marathon is to pick one, of course. So pick a date that is realistic with your current preparation and fitness level. If you're already comfortable in running half marathons, then 3 months of specific prep will be probably enough. If you've been running less than half marathons, then you gotta better consider at least 6, if not 12 months to allow your body and mind to adapt safely to your training. So picking a date, it's not just practical in order to structure your training in cycles, but research also shows that having a concrete goal boosts adherence and consistency. So let's go pick that date. And let's do it smartly. Now speaking training more concretely, we want to have a structured plan. Because preparing for a marathon, it's not just adding up more mileage to your training plan. It's about training periodization. And if you aren't familiar around training periodization, then make sure to check out my video on it. When you're periodizing your training, you want to make sure to have a balance between intensity and base. And this is where the 80-20 rule never gets old. So make 80% of your training easy in zone 2 at your conversational pace and 20% more intense. Studies have shown that periodizing your plans, varying intensity and volume over time, reduce injuries and enhance performance. So include weeks of load and weeks of deload. I normally suggest around 4 weeks of higher load and 1 week of recovery, of easier training and mileage. This will give your body the time to adapt to the new training stimuli, but at the same time to also decompress and be ready for another training cycle. So gradual adaptation is really the key in here. Something you want to make sure of when preparing for your marathon is to build your base endurance, aka your aerobic base. Running long, slow distance runs increase your mitochondrial density, your capillary networks, and your fat oxidation, which are all essential for endurance. Building this base before doing any speed workouts is basically your insurance policy for a marathon. Once you have your aerobic base, it's time to mix up speed and endurance. So make sure to integrate tempo runs, longer and shorter intervals, but especially longer ones, here's repeats, fartlek, and all those fun training. If you aren't familiar with these formats, I made a video specific on this topic where I explain to you how to perform each training type, so have a look at it. So varying more intense and easier training following the 80-20 rule is proven to maximize your adaptation while reducing injury risk. So make sure to listen to your body in this process in the best case scenario to have a running coach guiding you safely, and remember that pace isn't always the most important thing. Sometimes it's just following this ratio and having patience with the process. Another thing we don't want to fail when preparing for our marathon are our fueling and nutrition and our recovery, because they matter as much as training. You can follow the best training plans on earth, but if you don't pay attention to how you eat and how you recover, then we have a problem, Houston. Endurance research highlight carbs for long runs and proteins for muscular repair, and as well hydration for performance and cognition. So make sure to fuel well, not just when you're running, but also outside of it. And when speaking of recovery, sleep, stretching, mobility are really non-negotiable. Remember that adaptations happen when we are resting, so we don't want to miss out that part. Another thing you wanna pay attention to in your marathon prep are your gear and routes. So first of all, when speaking of your gear, you wanna make sure to do shoe rotation, meaning you have at least 2 pairs of shoes which you rotate, alternating between your runs. Having a proper shoe rotation will help you avoid overuse injury. Something you can do is to keep track of your mileage. There's this rule about 800 kilometers, which should be your max in a single pair of shoes, so keep track of it, maybe through a diary, or even Strava has this function. So always make sure that your shoes are really bouncy and have a high shock absorption level. And when speaking of running routes, we want to make sure to run somewhere safe where we can also run for longer. This is gonna be key, of course, in our training, in our longer runs sessions, to make it pleasant and smooth. So your gear and your training environment should support your training, not stress your progress. Another important aspect when preparing for your marathon is the mental part, because marathons are as much physical as mental. Things like visualizations and positive self-talks help, of course, enormously in here, and as well, techniques like breaking the distances into chunks help you improve performance and tackle those longer distances with more ease. But most of all, to reduce the perceived effort. Your mind is gonna be your strongest muscle on marathon day. Of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay attention to the physical prep, not at all, but also take care of your mental preparation as much as your training. It's really gonna pay off, I promise. Another thing that I would recommend you as a running coach is to not run the full marathon distance in your training. You should indeed pick around 35 to 36 kilometers. That's gonna be more than enough, because running the full marathon distance during your training, it's not gonna improve your performance. On the opposite, it's just gonna make you more prone to injury risk. So trust the process and the good training you're doing and pick around 35 to 37 kilometers, absolutely no more than that. And a last practical advice for your marathon prep is, of course, to taper. If you're not familiar with this term, it basically means to rest and recover before your big challenge. When speaking of marathon training, this happens around 2-3 weeks before the marathon. So what do? We basically reduce our training load around 40 to 60%, and in this way we replenish our glycogen and repair micro damage done by training, improving our performance around 2 to 3%. So I know they can seem pretty small numbers, but they will make a big difference on your race day. Before going straight to the race, I want to mention something you should really pay attention to in your day and night before the marathon. So first thing, you want to rest well the day before. You don't want to accumulate 10,000 steps and walking all around. I know it's tempting to go at the Marathon Expo and shop, but really, you're gonna thank me later. Try to stay still in the day before the marathon, because you need to save a lot of energy for this effort. And also prioritize proper nutrition and quality sleep. If you can, get plenty of that the night before. And with proper nutrition, yes, it's true, you should do carb loading, because the night before the race, it's ideal to replenish those glycogen's reserves. But also make sure that you're not eating something that's not easily digestible. You don't want to wake up the morning after and, have a mess in your stomach. It's really important to eat something that you're sure you're gonna digest easily, that will also give you the right reserves for the day to come. And when you're gonna wake up on race day, of course, you also want to have the right breakfast, something nutritious that gives you plenty of energies for the upcoming race but also something that's easily digestible. So be careful with cafe, for example. Don't eat too fatty foods. Pay attention to dairy products, fibers, because it's best to avoid them on race day. Alright, fellow runners, now that we talked about marathon prep, it's time to talk about race day itself. So let's jump into it. The first thing that we wanna absolutely nail is organization. Race day is not a day for improvisation. So make sure to be absolutely the expert about your marathon. When speaking of transportation, starting time, bib pickup, all the stuff need to be crystal clear to you. And also pay attention because marathons are pretty busy, are pretty crowded. Don't rely too much on means of transportation and their timings, because it could be completely messed up. So I'm telling you, especially if it's one of the majors, pay attention to all these aspects. You wanna get there not on time, plenty in advance. But speaking of organization, it's not just about the race itself, but your gear. So this includes having tested your whole outfit, your shoes, your gels, your nutrition strategy, your hydration. You really don't want to improvise on marathon day, trust me. And if it doesn't convince you enough, let's just think it scientifically. Uncertainties spike our cortisol level, the stress hormone, and cortisol also can impair performance, so we don't want that on a race day, right? Let's just keep those stress level low and enjoy our race day without any other thoughts. Another topic, speaking of race day, is your warm-up. My suggestion is to keep it short and dynamic, because we'll have plenty of time in the marathon to warm up, but still, we don't want to skip it, so let's do it smartly. A couple minutes easy jogging, a few dynamic stretches, because warm-up is always a non-negotiable. So now picture yourself. We're at the starting line, we have all the right gears, shoes, and possibly no new running shoes. You want them to be broken in. Your hydration and nutrition equipment, your energy gels, I don't know where you're gonna store your water because it's really personal. I like to have a running vest, but please check the race information if they're allowed. If so, yes, bring them. Otherwise, make sure that you know where all the hydration points are to build a fueling strategy, including hydration. Key word in here is no experiment on race day. Pretty simple. So now that we are at the starting line, everything worked, we organized well, we are well trained, hopefully we'll recover for race day, then it's time to talk about the mental strategy. A good way to approach a marathon is to divide it into mental blocks. My recommendation is 4. From kilometer 0 to 10, I recommend you to just go easy peasy, focus on your rhythm, no sprints in here, don't be easily influenced by the fellow runners around you, it's you, your race, your pace, so no need to rush. There's gonna be plenty of time to do it eventually. Second block, from 10 to 21 kilometers, I suggest you to just maintain a pleasant pace and watch out for your glycogen usage. So fuel well with your energy gels, whatever you brought, maybe it's energy bars, a banana, what works for you and you previously tested. Third block, wow, it's getting tough, from 21 to 30 kilometers, because the famous wall at kilometer 30 could arrive. I hope for you not, but let's just be cautious and mentally prepared. Keep fueling, hydrating properly, and follow your strategy. The fourth and last block, assuming everything is fine, you can try to increase a little bit your pace if you're aiming for a specific time, but just if you feel good in doing so. Otherwise, just leave it, because the goal of a first marathon is to just finish it. Full stop. It doesn't matter with what time. So if you're very stubborn with yourself and feel well, yes, let's increase a little bit the pace. When it comes to marathon, the very last block from kilometer 30 on, even 1 kilometer can feel endless if you aren't fully in your running perfection zone. Focus on just crossing that finish line, not to do it with a certain time, at a certain pace. You have to feel well. This is priority in here. It comes before everything else. Let's talk hydration and fueling, because during a marathon, it matters as much as your physical and mental preparation. Make sure to sip frequently. The ideal frequency depends a lot on you. I know people that are fine with sipping just every hour, other ones like me who are particularly thirsty and need to hydrate every 25 minutes. So I assume you did your homework during training and know yourself well in these regards. And last but not least, have fun, fellow runner. Finishing this marathon is gonna be the main goal. It doesn't matter your time, your pace, it matters how you approach this experience. So focus on the sensations, on your breathing, on the atmosphere, the cheering. Marathons are just so special events that you'll always keep in your memories, in your heart. So don't be mentally stuck in your thoughts and numbers, but try to enjoy it fully. Maybe you can even make new fellow runners. And this is also, by the way, a good strategy, especially in the first half of the marathon, to make sure you're not running too fast. So, fellow runners, that was it with my marathon prep and marathon day tips. Let me know if you enjoyed them with a comment and a thumbs up. And of course, remember to subscribe to this channel to see more similar content. And if you need more support in your marathon prep, don't hesitate to contact me. Check the links in my bio for more information. I'll be seeing you in the next video and feel your run!